My landlord told me to document everything, so I did, and it cost him the entire building. I 30M moved into what was supposed to be a newly renovated apartment about 2 years ago. The landlord, who I'll call Harold, bragged about how he personally oversaw every upgrade and that the building was basically luxury at a bargain price. It took exactly 3 days for me to realize Harold's definition of luxury must have been inspired by 1990s gas stations. The hot water would cut out randomly. The outlets sparked. The walls looked freshly painted but smelled heavily of mold. The AC didn't work at all. I tried being patient, but when the first major issue hit, a leak above the kitchen that started dripping brown water into my food, I called him. He sighed loudly and said, "Look, you tenants complain about every little thing. If it's really that serious, document it so I know you're not exaggerating." He actually used the words document everything. Fine. You want documentation? I can document. Within the first month, I had photos of the leak spreading across the ceiling. The second month, I had videos of cockroaches crawling out of gaps behind the stove. When winter came, the heat failed completely for 4 days, and I recorded myself shivering inside the apartment with visible breath in the air. I emailed Harold all of it. His responses were always the same dismissive tone: "I'll get to it. Stop overreacting, or everyone else is fine, so maybe the problem is you." Meanwhile, I watched my neighbors quietly move out one by one, fed up with Harold's useless repairs. One older woman even left because the mold triggered severe asthma attacks, and Harold told her she was being dramatic. That's when I realized this wasn't laziness. This was negligence. By month 6, the ceiling leak had spread so widely that chunks of drywall were sagging. I told Harold it was unsafe. He told me again, "Copy-paste, document everything." So I upgraded my documentation. I bought a timestamp camera. I kept folders of every message. I filed maintenance requests through email instead of text so he couldn't delete anything. I even measured moisture levels in the walls using a cheap hardware store meter. Then came the night everything changed. A loud crash woke me up at 2 a.m. I walked into the kitchen and found that the ceiling had partially collapsed. Not completely, but enough to spill insulation and moldy chunks of drywall all over the floor. I filmed everything, including the water dripping from electrical wires. I called Harold, who groaned and said he'd send someone next week. Next week. That was the moment I snapped. I went straight to the city's housing and safety department. I filed a complaint with all my evidence: every leak, every electrical hazard, every mold-covered wall. The inspector assigned to my case told me he'd never seen documentation this organized. When he arrived for inspection, Harold actually tried to prevent him from entering, claiming I was lying to get out of rent. The inspector pushed past him and walked inside. He didn't stay long. The building failed on 14 violations. 4 were serious enough to require immediate evacuation if not fixed within days. Harold was furious. He called me screaming, saying I had ruined his reputation. He demanded to know why I hadn't warned him I was going to the city. I reminded him gently, "You told me to document everything." The inspector came back a week later. Not only had Harold done nothing, several problems had worsened. That's when the hammer dropped. The city condemned the entire building pending major repairs, which Harold absolutely didn't have the money for. He was given a choice: pay for a full renovation or sell the property. Within 2 months, the building was sold to a management company who immediately reached out to all tenants, even the ones who left, and offered discounted rent if they returned. Harold lost everything. His rental license was suspended. He had to pay fines for violations and mold exposure. And because I had saved every message, the city fined him for ignoring tenant safety complaints. People keep saying I took things too far, but all I did was exactly what he told me to do. I documented everything. Was it petty? Maybe. But was I overreacting for thinking Harold deserved every bit of what happened after months of ignoring dangerous problems? I don't think so. He gambled on tenants staying quiet. He forgot some of us know how to read instructions, even the ones he gave himself.